If you're over Altmush, you've probably heard it all your life. Bananas are the perfect snack. They're soft, sweet, easy to digest, and packed with potassium, labeled as heart-healthy by everyone from your GP to the health magazines at your local Tesco or Shoppers Drug Mart. But here's the truth that shocks me as a doctor who spent decades helping seniors stay healthy. For those of us over 60, bananas can be a silent danger, quietly raising your risk of a stroke overnight. Let me paint you a picture. You go to bed feeling fine after a day of eating what you thought was healthy, but by morning, your speech is slurred, your balance is off, or one side of your body just won't move. As a brain health expert, I've seen too many seniors in the UK and Canada face this nightmare, not because of smoking or fast food, but because of a fruit they trusted. Let me share a story that stayed with me. Mrs. Margaret Thompson, a 7-year-old retired nurse from Manchester, was the picture of health. She walked daily in her local park, ate well, and took pride in her morning routine. A bowl of porridge topped with a sliced banana, washed down with her blood pressure medication. It felt like the perfect start to her day. Something she'd done for years. But one morning, her husband found her collapsed in their kitchen, unable to lift her right arm. Her words jumbled. At the hospital, scans showed a small but life-altering stroke. Her blood potassium levels were dangerously high, disrupting her heart rhythm and triggering a clot overnight. Margaret had no idea that her daily banana, combined with her medication, was tipping her body into a perfect storm. Here's what most seniors in the UK and Canada aren't told. You don't need heaps of potassium from fruit, especially not all at once. A single large banana has over 450 milligrams of potassium, enough to upset your body's balance if your kidneys aren't working at their best. And if you eat that banana at night, when your blood flow slows and your medication is still active, it's like rolling the dice with your health. So, what can you do? If you love bananas, enjoy just half a banana in the morning, paired with a bit of Greek yogurt or a handful of almonds to slow the potassium surge. Escape banana smoothies, banana bread, or eating them before bed. That's when your brain is most vulnerable. And if you're on heart or blood pressure medications, talk to your doctor about how bananas might interact with your prescriptions. In places like Toronto or London, where pharmacies like Shoppers, Drug Mart, or Boots are on every corner, it's easy to ask for a quick check. Picture this. It's a quiet afternoon in your home in Vancouver or Birmingham. You're sipping tea, enjoying a handful of sweet, juicy grapes, maybe from your local Sobeys or Sainsbury's. They feel like the perfect, guilt-free snack, don't they? Something to nibble on while catching up on the news or chatting with your grandkids after Sunday lunch. But as a doctor who's seen the hidden dangers of everyday foods, I'm here to share a truth that might shock you. For those of us over 60, grapes can be a silent trigger for stroke, especially if you're managing blood sugar issues or have fragile blood vessels. Over time, this inflammation makes your blood vessels stiff and narrow. Tiny tears can form in their lining. And when that happens, your body creates blood clots to patch them up. For someone over 60, those clots can spell disaster, blocking blood flow to your brain and triggering a stroke, sometimes while you sleep, with no warning at all. Let me tell you about Mr. John Davies, a 72-year-old retired teacher from Ottawa. John was careful about his health. No fizzy drinks, no junk food. His favorite mid-morning snack was a generous bowl of red grapes. Often eaten while reading his morning paper, he'd go through a cup or two without a second thought. thinking he was making a healthy choice. But one morning, as he was writing a letter to his granddaughter, his vision blurred, and his hand started trembling. He couldn't find the word for happy. His son rushed him to the hospital, where doctors confirmed a transient ischemic attack, a mini-stroke caused by a clot briefly blocking blood flow to his brain. Tests showed John's blood sugar was spiking sharply around midday, and his A1C levels had crept into the pre-diabetic range, something he never suspected. Even more concerning, his blood vessels showed signs of low-grade inflammation, likely worsened by years of eating high-sugar fruits like grapes without balancing them out. Here's what I want you to take away. Even healthy foods can turn risky if you don't eat them wisely. Grapes digest fast, sending sugar racing through your veins. If you eat them alone, especially on an empty stomach or when you're dehydrated, your blood can thicken, your vessels constrict, and clots become more likely night after night. This builds up, setting the stage for a stroke that could steal your balance, your words, or your independence. Have you ever thought a snack as simple as grapes could hide risks like this? If this is hitting home, type 1" the comments to let me know you're still with me. If there's something you'd like me to explain differently, type 0. I'm here to make this as clear as possible for you. Next, we'll dive into pineapple, that tropical treat you love after dinner. It feels like sunshine in a bite, but its sugar, acid, and enzymes could be harming your brain while you sleep. There's something about pineapple that feels like a burst of sunshine, isn't there? It's sweet. Tangy flavor makes it a favorite after-dinner treat. Whether you're in Calgary enjoying a slice from your local co-op or in Bristol picking one up at Waitrose, many of us over 60 see pineapple as a healthy, natural dessert, light, packed with enzymes that help digestion, and a guilt-free way to end the day. But as a doctor who spent years helping seniors in the UK and Canada stay healthy, I'm deeply concerned about how this tropical fruit, when eaten at the wrong time, can quietly raise your risk of a stroke overnight. Then there's the acid. Pineapple is one of the most acidic fruits you'll find in supermarkets, from Sobeys to Tesco. That acidity can irritate your esophagus, triggering silent reflux, a condition many seniors don't even feel. This reflux can lead to microaspiration at night, where tiny bits of acid enter your airways, reducing oxygen to your brain and increasing the risk of early morning strokes, which are often the most dangerous. And finally, bromelain, that enzyme we're told helps digestion. In small amounts, it's fine, but in excess, especially if you're on blood-thinning medications like warfarin or aspirin, common across the UK and Canada, bromelain can interfere with how your blood clots. For seniors with thinner blood vessels and slower metabolisms, this can lead to unpredictable bleeding or, worse, clot formation. Let me share a story that haunts me. Mrs. Elizabeth Carter, a 75-year-old retired librarian from Halifax, loved her nightly ritual of a few pineapple slices after dinner. She thought she was doing everything right. No processed sweets, just fresh fruit. But one morning, her daughter found her disoriented, struggling to speak clearly, and unsteady on her feet. At the hospital, a CT scan revealed a small stroke in the back of her brain, affecting her balance and speech. Tests showed elevated blood sugar, signs of nighttime reflux, and irregular platelet function, a perfect storm traced back to her nightly pineapple habit. Elizabeth thought she was helping her health, but it nearly cost her independence. Here's what I want you to know. Even healthy foods can turn risky if you don't time them right. Pineapple's sugar, acid, and enzymes make it a dangerous choice at night, especially if you're on medications for your heart or blood pressure. So, what should you do? Enjoy pineapple sparingly, in small amounts, and only earlier in the day, never before bed. Pair it with a bit of protein, like a handful of nuts, to slow the sugar spike. And if you're on blood thinners, check with your doctor or pharmacist, whether at Boots in the UK or Pharmasav in Canada, to make sure pineapple is safe for you. Have you ever considered that a fruit as simple as pineapple could hide risks like this? If this is eye-opening, type 1 inch. The comments to let me know you're still with me. If you'd like me to clarify anything, type 0. I'm here to help you understand. Next, we'll talk about watermelon. A summer favorite that feels hydrating but could be silently drying out your brain and increasing your stroke risk in ways you never imagined. It's hard to imagine a fruit more loved in the summer than watermelon. Whether you're in Vancouver cooling off after a warm day or in Manchester enjoying a family picnic, those chilled, juicy slices feel like the ultimate refreshment. You might even think watermelon is the perfect way to stay hydrated. After all, it's practically all water. But as a doctor who's seen the hidden risks of everyday foods for seniors, I'm here to share a surprising truth. For those of us over 60, watermelon can quietly increase your stroke risk, especially overnight, by drying out your body in ways you'd never suspect. For your brain, which relies on steady blood flow, this is a silent threat. At night, when your circulation naturally slows and your blood pressure dips, thick blood can trigger a clot that cuts off oxygen to your brain. The makings of a stroke that strikes without warning. Let me tell you about Mr. Robert Wilson, an 80-year-old retired farmer from Saskatchewan. Robert was proud of his healthy habits, daily walks, no sugary treats, and a love for fresh watermelon after dinner to cool down. He thought he was keeping his body hydrated, especially since he was on a diuretic for mild heart failure. But one morning, Robert woke up dizzy, unable to stand without stumbling. His wife rushed him to the hospital, where tests showed a small ischemic stroke caused by a clot in a narrowed artery. His blood work revealed concentrated hemoglobin, a sign of dehydration, and dangerously low blood pressure, made worse by the combined effect of his medication and watermelon's diuretic properties. Robert's nightly watermelon habit, meant to keep him healthy, was pulling too much fluid from his body, setting the stage for a clot that changed his life. Now, he relies on a walker and struggles with balance. A far cry from the active man he was just weeks before. 1055. Vượt quá 1000 ký tự. Oranges are practically a symbol of health, aren't they? Whether you're in London starting your day with a glass of fresh squeezed juice from Tesco, or in Toronto unpacking a Christmas stocking stuffed with juicy navels, oranges feel like nature's gift, packed with vitamin C. They've been praised for decades as a must-have for a strong immune system. But as a doctor who's helped seniors across the UK and Canada stay healthy, I'm here to share a startling truth for those of us over 60, especially if you're on heart or blood pressure medications. Oranges can quietly turn into a dangerous chemical cocktail that raises your stroke risk. Let me tell you about Mrs. Susan Patel, a 78-year-old retired bank clerk from Birmingham. Susan was diligent about her health, taking her cholesterol medication and blood pressure pills every morning alongside a tall glass of fresh orange juice, her sunshine in a glass. As she called it, she thought she was doing everything right, combining her prescriptions with a natural boost of vitamin C. But one morning, after feeling dizzy for days, she collapsed while making tea. Her daughter rushed her to the hospital, where a CT scan revealed a mild ischemic stroke. Blood tests showed dangerously high levels of her medications. Not because she took too much, but because the furanocoumarin in her daily orange juice was stopping her liver from clearing them properly. This caused her blood pressure to swing wildly, creating the perfect conditions for a clot to form in a narrow artery in her brain. Susan was stunned when I explained it. All my life, I thought orange juice was good for me, she said, her voice trembling. And it might have been when she was younger, but at Odio Calfjärds, with a slower liver and multiple medications, her body couldn't handle that daily citrus hit. Here's what I want every senior in the UK and Canada to know. Your body changes after 60, and what worked in your 42nd can become risky now. Oranges, especially when consumed regularly with medications, can destabilize your blood and vessels. So, how can you enjoy them safely? Eat oranges sparingly. A small clementine here and there is a safer bet. Avoid drinking full glasses of orange juice, especially in the morning when you take your pills. And always check with your doctor or pharmacist, whether at Boots in the UK or Shoppers Drug Mart in Canada, to see if citrus fruits could interfere with your prescriptions. Have you ever wondered if your morning orange juice could be hiding risks like this? If this is making you rethink your breakfast routine, type 1 inch. The comments to let me know you're still with me. If there's anything you'd like me to explain better, type 0. I'm here to help you stay safe and healthy. Next, we'll talk about apples. That classic apple a day you've been told keeps the doctor away. But for seniors, the wrong apple at the wrong time could be stirring up a sugar trap that increases your stroke risk. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. It's a saying we've all grown up with. Whether you're in London enjoying a crisp apple from your local Sainsbury's, or in Toronto picking one up at Loblaws, apples feel like the ultimate healthy snack. Juicy, easy to eat, and often packed into lunchboxes or served at community centers across the UK and Canada. But as a doctor who's seen how everyday foods can affect seniors, I'm here to share a truth that might surprise you. For those of us over 60, especially if you're managing blood pressure or diabetes, the wrong apple at the wrong time can quietly raise your stroke risk by stirring up your blood sugar in dangerous ways. Not all apples are created equal. Popular varieties like Fuji, Honeycrisp, or Gala, the ones you'll find in every supermarket from Calgary to Manchester, are bred for sweetness, not just nutrition. These apples have a high glycemic load, meaning they flood your bloodstream with sugar faster than your aging body can handle. If you eat them alone, especially without protein or healthy fat to slow digestion, you're setting off a rapid blood sugar spike, followed by a crash. That roller coaster doesn't just sap your energy, it stresses your blood vessels, increases inflammation, and makes your blood thicker and stickier. Over time, these sugar surges can damage the delicate lining of your arteries, especially those leading to your brain. Tiny tears form, and your body responds by creating blood clots to patch them up. For seniors with stiffer, narrower vessels, those clots can become stroke triggers, waiting for the wrong moment to strike. Let me share a story that stayed with me. Mrs. Eleanor Hughes, an 82-year-old retired schoolteacher from Victoria, BC, was the picture of health. She walked daily along the waterfront, took her medications as prescribed, and swapped sugary treats for a large Honeycrisp apple every afternoon. She thought she was making the smart choice. No biscuits. No sweets. Just fruit. Here's what I want every senior in the UK and Canada to know. Even wholesome foods like apples need care and context. Choose lower sugar varieties like Granny Smith, which are packed with brain-protecting compounds called polyphenols and have less impact on your blood sugar. Always pair your apple with a bit of protein or fat, a smear of almond butter or a slice of cheddar to slow digestion and avoid spikes. And never eat a sweet apple on an empty stomach, especially in the evening when your body's winding down. Your brain needs steady fuel, not a sugar roller coaster. Have you ever thought that something as simple as an apple could hide risks like this? If this is making you rethink your daily snacks, type 1" the comments to let me know you're still with me. If there's anything you'd like me to explain better, type 0. I'm here to keep you informed and safe. Next, we'll talk about cherries, those vibrant, antioxidant-packed fruits you love for heart health. But hidden in their ruby red skins is a compound that could thin your blood too much. Especially if you're on medications, cherries are like little jewels of summer, aren't they? Whether you're in Ottawa enjoying a bowl of fresh cherries from your local farmer's market or in Bristol popping them into a salad from Sainsbury's, they feel like nature's perfect treat. Packed with antioxidants and praised for helping with inflammation and heart health. Cherries are a favorite for seniors across the UK and Canada. But as a doctor who's seen the hidden dangers of everyday foods, I'm here to share a sobering truth. For those of us over 60, especially if you're on blood-thinning medications, cherries can quietly increase your risk of a brain bleed, a type of stroke that's far more dangerous than you might think. The trouble lies in a compound called salicylates, naturally found in cherries, which acts like a mild blood thinner. Similar to aspirin, in small amounts, this can be helpful for reducing inflammation. But for seniors already taking medications like warfarin, Plavix, or even daily aspirin, common prescriptions in the UK and Canada, adding more salicylates from cherries can push your blood into dangerous territory. When your blood becomes too thin, fragile vessels in your brain can leak or rupture, leading to a hemorrhagic stroke, bleeding inside your brain that can steal your speech, mobility, or independence in moments. Let me share a story that stayed with me. Mr. George Thompson, an 85-year-old retired mechanic from Winnipeg, loved ending his day with a small bowl of cherries. He'd read they were good for his arthritis and heart, and he called them his nature's dessert. George was also on a low-dose aspirin for a past heart issue. For months, everything seemed fine. But then, he started noticing headaches and occasional dizziness. One morning, he woke up confused, vomiting, and unable to stand straight. His wife rushed him to the hospital, where a CT scan revealed a terrifying truth. A small brain bleed caused by blood that was too thin to clot properly. Doctors found no medication errors. George was taking his aspirin as prescribed. But the salicylates in his nightly cherries, combined with his medication, had created a perfect storm. The bleed could have been catastrophic. And while George survived, he now struggles with mobility and relies on his family for daily tasks. It's heartbreaking to think a fruit he trusted could have such consequences. Here's what I want every senior in the UK and Canada to understand. Your body at 70 or 80 isn't the same as it was at 40. Even natural foods like cherries can interact with your medications in ways that build up silently over time. So, how can you enjoy them safely? Eat cherries sparingly. A few now and then are likely fine. Avoid cherry juice or large portions, especially if you're on blood thinners. And always check with your doctor or pharmacist, whether at Boots in the UK or Rexall in Canada, before making cherries a regular part of your diet. A quick chat could save you from a risk you never saw coming. Have you ever thought a handful of cherries could hide dangers like this? If this is making you rethink your evening snacks, type 1" the comments to let me know you're still with me. If there's anything you'd like me to explain better, type 0. I'm here to keep you safe and informed. Next, we'll talk about strawberries, those bright, heart-shaped fruits you love in smoothies or on your morning yogurt. But hidden beneath their shine could be pesticides and compounds that increase your stroke risk in ways you've never been warned about. Strawberries are the picture of health, aren't they? Those bright, heart-shaped berries, bursting with sweetness, are a staple in kitchens from Vancouver to Leeds. You'll find them blended into smoothies at senior wellness cafes, served with cream at UK summer fairs, or frozen for winter treats from stores like Loblaws or Waitrose. But as a doctor who spent years helping seniors in the UK and Canada stay healthy, I'm here to share a troubling truth. For those of us over 60, strawberries can quietly increase your risk of stroke, inflammation, and even brain toxicity in ways you've likely never been warned about. Let's start with something most people don't know. Strawberries are one of the most heavily sprayed fruits you'll find in supermarkets. Year after year, they top lists like the Environmental Working Group's Dirty Dozen for high pesticide residues, even after washing. For seniors, whose bodies are slower at detoxifying chemicals, these pesticides don't just rinse away, they build up in your tissues, including your brain. Over time, these neurotoxic compounds can damage brain cells, weaken blood vessels, and increase inflammation, creating the perfect conditions for strokes or memory loss. But that's not all. Strawberries also contain purines, natural compounds that break down into uric acid in your body. For many seniors managing gout, kidney issues, or high blood pressure, common conditions across the UK and Canada, too much uric acid can spark inflammation, narrow blood vessels, and raise the risk of blood clots. These clots can block blood flow to your brain, triggering a stroke that could steal your independence overnight. Let me share a story that's hard to forget. Mrs. Dorothy Evans, an 81-year-old retired florist from Cardiff, loved strawberries. Every June, she'd pick them fresh from her local market and freeze them for her daily smoothies. Thinking they were a healthy choice, Dorothy also managed mild hypertension and occasional joint pain with medication. But over time, she started noticing morning dizziness and swelling in her hands. One morning, she woke up with numbness in her left arm and slurred speech. Her son rushed her to the hospital, where a CT scan confirmed a minor ischemic stroke. Tests showed elevated uric acid levels and signs of oxidative stress, likely worsened by years of pesticide exposure and purine overload from her strawberry habit. Dorothy survived, but she now lives with mild nerve sensitivity and memory gaps, a painful reminder that even superfoods can turn risky in an aging body. Here's what I want every senior to know. Context matters. Strawberries might be fine for younger folks, but for those of us over 60, they need caution. Always choose organic strawberries to avoid pesticides. Check the labels at Tesco or Sobeys. Wash them thoroughly. And don't eat them daily. If you have gout, kidney issues, or take blood pressure medications, talk to your doctor or pharmacist. Whether at Boots in the UK or Pharmasave in Canada, before making strawberries a regular snack. And be extra careful with frozen strawberries and pre-made smoothies, as they can come from less regulated sources. Have you ever thought a fruit as wholesome as strawberries could carry risks like this? If this is making you rethink your smoothie ingredients, type 1 in the comments to let me know you're still with me. If there's anything you'd like me to explain better, type 0. I'm here to keep you safe and informed. Next, we'll talk about mango, that exotic, juicy treat you love in fruit salads. It's marketed as a heart-healthy choice, but its high sugar and hidden compounds could be disrupting your medications and raising your stroke risk. Mango feels like a tropical escape, doesn't it? Whether you're in Toronto picking up a ripe one from Loblaws or in Manchester adding it to a fruit salad from Marks & Spencer, that soft, fragrant sweetness makes it seem like nature's perfect dessert. For many seniors, mango is a healthy treat, found in smoothies at wellness cafes or dried in snack packs labeled as heart-healthy. But as a doctor who's seen how everyday foods can affect those of us over 60, I'm here to share a startling truth. Mango can quietly sabotage your health, raising your stroke risk through sky-high sugar and hidden medication interactions. Let's start with the sugar. Just 1 cup of ripe mango packs nearly 45 grams of sugar, more than a donut you'd avoid at Tim Hortons or Greg's. That sugar hits your bloodstream fast, causing sharp spikes and crashes, especially if you're managing insulin resistance, diabetes, or blood pressure. Common concerns for seniors across the UK and Canada. These spikes don't just affect your energy, they inflame your blood vessels, causing tiny cracks in their lining. Your body tries to fix these cracks with blood clots. And in an aging brain with narrower vessels, those clots can block blood flow, triggering a stroke without warning. But there's more. Mango contains natural compounds, like mangiferin, that can slow down your liver's ability to process medications, such as those for heart rhythm, cholesterol, or blood pressure. Think amlodipine or metoprolol, prescribed to millions when your liver's cytochrome P450 system is disrupted. Medications can build up, causing side effects like dangerously low blood pressure or erratic heart rhythms. For seniors, this imbalance can be a silent setup for a stroke. Let me tell you about Mr. Henry Chen, an 84-year-old retired accountant from Edmonton. Henry prided himself on staying active, walking daily, and eating a balanced diet. A few months ago, he started snacking on dried mango slices every afternoon, thinking they were a smarter choice than biscuits. He was also on medications for high blood pressure and an irregular heartbeat. After weeks of feeling lightheaded in the mornings, one day he collapsed while getting out of bed, his face drooping slightly on one side. His wife rushed him to the hospital, where scans confirmed a minor ischemic stroke. Tests showed his medication levels were too high, despite taking the correct dose, and his blood sugar was spiking from the dried mango. This combination created a perfect storm for a clot that could have been catastrophic. Here's what I want every senior to know. Mango's sweetness hides its risks. It's not just the sugar. It's how it interacts with your aging body and medications. So, how can you enjoy mangoes safely? Keep portions tiny, a few bites, not a whole fruit, and only eat it during the day. Never before bed. Pair it with protein or fat, like a few nuts or a slice of cheese, to blunt the sugar spike. And if you're on heart or blood pressure medications, check with your doctor or pharmacist, whether at Rexall in Canada or Boots in the UK, to ensure mango is safe for you. Your body's margin for error shrinks with age, and a fruit you loved at 40 might not be your friend at 80. Have you ever thought a tropical treat like mango could carry risks like this? If this is making you rethink your fruit choices, type 1" the comments to let me know you're still with me. If there's anything you'd like me to explain better, type 0.org. I'm here to keep you healthy and informed. Next, we'll wrap up with a final reflection on how to choose brain-safe fruits that protect your memory, heart, and independence without these hidden risks. After hearing about these 9 fruits, bananas, grapes, pineapples, watermelons, oranges, apples, cherries, strawberries, and mangoes, you might be feeling a bit overwhelmed, maybe even a little betrayed. All your life, you've been told that fruit is nature's gift. A safe and healthy choice? Whether you're picking up produce at Tesco in the UK or Sobeys in Canada, but as a doctor who spent decades helping seniors in the UK and Canada live their healthiest lives, I'm here to share a truth that's both sobering and empowering. After 60, your body changes, and every bite matters more than ever before. Aging isn't just about wrinkles or slower steps. Your kidneys filter more slowly, your liver process medication less efficiently, and your blood vessels become more fragile. Your brain, the most precious part of you, is sensitive to every fluctuation in blood sugar, blood pressure, or clotting, that bowl of grapes during your afternoon tea, the banana with your morning pills, or the pineapple slice after dinner in Toronto. These habits, so familiar and well-meaning, can quietly build a cascade of risks. They can inflame your arteries, thin your blood too much or not enough, or form tiny clots that block oxygen to your brain. As a doctor, I've seen the heartbreak of seniors who woke up fine but ended their day in the ICU, unable to speak or walk, all because of a clot no bigger than a grain of rice. But here's the good news. You don't have to give up fruit or live in fear. With the right choices and a bit of wisdom, you can enjoy food that supports your brain, heart, and independence. So, what fruits are safe for seniors in the UK and Canada? First, berries, blueberries, raspberries, and blackberries. They're low in sugar, packed with antioxidants, and rich in polyphenols that protect your blood vessels and reduce inflammation. Find them fresh at your local Waitrose or frozen at Loblaws for year-round benefits. Second, Granny Smith apples. Unlike their sweeter cousins, these green apples are lower in sugar and high in brain-protecting flavonoids. Pair them with a bit of almond butter or cheddar for steady energy. Here's the key: timing and balance. Eat fruit early in the day, never on an empty stomach. And always pair it with protein or fat, a handful of nuts, a slice of cheese to keep your blood sugar steady. Avoid fruit before bed, when your circulation is at its lowest and your brain is most vulnerable. In the UK, you might chat with your GP or pharmacist at Boots about how your diet interacts with your prescriptions. In Canada, pop into Shoppers Drug Mart for a quick check. This isn't about fear. It's about respecting the incredible body that's carried you through decades of life. You're not fragile, but you're unique. And your choices now can shape how you live tomorrow. Have you ever thought that something as simple as a fruit could change your health in such a big way? If this has inspired you to rethink your plate, type 1 inch. The comments to let me know you're with me. If there's anything you'd like me to explain better, type 0. I'm here to support you. Before we go, I'd love to hear from you. What's one fruit you'll eat differently after watching this? Share it in the comments. And let's support each other in living healthier, wiser lives. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Senior Health Tips for more advice tailored for you in the UK and Canada. Thank you for watching. And here's to staying sharp, standing strong, and living life on your terms.